let's break the mold. Chasing the stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play. We see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk thought.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You already know it is Friday night. It is 8 p.m. It is the College Football Frenzy. Usually, we don't know what the hell we're talking about, but tonight we know certainly what we're talking about. National Championship Edition. Eddie, it's here. My name is Paul Spencer. That is the college professor, Eddie Prather. Eddie, it's a long season, and we are finally freaking here, dude. National Championship game Monday night, brother. How you been?
I'm doing good. It's been like it seems like it's taken forever to get to the national championship game.
Yeah, I mean we've had a long season. You know, we're for teams right now. It's 15 games in the college playoffs, Eddie. But you know, honestly, we did a show every week, Eddie. You think about this, man. First and foremost, did you expect Indiana? I mean, last year they got rocked by that team called Notre Dame that I root for. You know, my one and only team. But hey, Indiana, surprise team last year, Eddie. Did you really think that they were going to be 15-0, win the Big Ten, beat Michigan, beat Oregon, beat Ohio State, and be the juggernaut that they are right now? Did you think Indiana first? Yes or no?
I didn't know, not until after they beat Ohio. I didn't think they had. I thought they make the playoffs, but I didn't expect them to be in the national championship game until after they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, that told me a little bit of a lot. I mean, you beat Oregon, you beat them by 7. I get that. You know, that's a 7-point swing there, but you're playing Ohio State, the juggernaut, the defending national champs, and you just outright kicked their ass. Very simple. You know, that was the proving thing to me, like, okay, Indiana is for real here. Signetti has this team playing, Eddie. 2 years in the program, 27-2. 27-2, Eddie, in his first 2 years. Eddie, you don't hear that from coaches. I mean, when you say that, Eddie, who do you think about? Nick freaking Saban. He might be in the same category as a Nick Saban. We're talking GOATs maybe down the line. We can't project it. But, Eddie, we might be talking Signetti possibly as a GOAT pretty soon.
You have to considering with all the success he's had at every place that he has been a head coach at.
Yeah, I mean, IUP right down the street from me, Eddie. You know, James Madison, the guy wins, man. He's been under the Saban tree. He's learned from Nick Saban. He was on the staff down there. You know, a high-priced staff down there they have. But you think about – but the only difference is, Eddie, real quick, got a couple comments. I want to get to those in a second. But here's the thing. The only disregard of what I hear, Eddie, I heard on Twitter today. I went on Twitter today. I got a couple fights on Twitter today. One guy said, hey, Signetti, man, possibly GOAT. 8 years down the line, get him a couple more chips. He could be the GOAT of the college football status. One guy told me, Eddie, which I want to hear your take on this. Nick Saban didn't have to deal with NIL. That's why he left football, Eddie. He didn't want to deal with the bullshit, the transfers, the NIL deal money, buying teams. He built teams. Signetti has fucking Mark Cuban, Eddie. He can put $5 million in any player's pocket anytime he wants. He can build players. Do you respect that, what he said? Signetti has to buy teams.
I think the only reason that Saban had a problem with if Saban was like 10, 15 years younger, I think he would have been able to handle it. But Saban, by the time this NIL and transfer portal stuff, Saban was 70-something years old, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah, you know what? And I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100% what you just said right there. Signetti is the type coach where Fent Mendoza, nobody knew what he was, Eddie. Okay, nobody knew what kind of quarterback he was. Look at the running backs, Hardy, Black. Nobody knows who these guys are. Cooper, wide receiver. Saraja, nobody knows who these guys are. Eddie, he finds pieces, man. He reminds me of Belichick. No-name wide receivers, one good guy on the team, builds around them, builds the chemistry, builds the philosophy, and look where they're at, Eddie. This guy is here to stay. I'll tell you that. But real quick, I got a comment here. Let's see who it is. It's Christine Heiner. I know that girl right there. That is an awesome chick right there. I know her personally. She is freaking awesome. Thanks for tuning in, Christine. I can't believe you checked in. I appreciate that, Christine. Appreciate that. Definitely do. So hope she actually lives like 2 miles from me. Is that cool? Awesome people. Awesome people. But Eddie, really quick, man. I gotta give you praise real quick, Eddie. I really don't like doing this. I don't like giving praise to anybody. I'm a hothead. I know it all. But Eddie, I gotta come down a little bit. Eddie. Hold on. Let me breathe. Eddie, I respect the decision you made last week. I took the quack duck attack, and Eddie, I'm just gonna say we scored 22 points. You guys scored 56. Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it right on the chin, Eddie. I'll take it on the chin, brother. Oh, go ahead, Eddie. Give it to me. Let me know. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was wrong about. I said Oregon was only going to get 17 points, so they got.
Hey, I got 22. Points. I got 22, Eddie. I got 22. You're right. I got 20. So that's a win for me, right? That's a win for me. But Indiana, man. Oh my God, Eddie. Here's the crazy thing. Mendoza had 5 TDs, Eddie. Could have had more, let's put it that way. But he had more touchdowns than incompletions, Eddie. That is amazing to me when you're rocking teams. You beat Alabama. I mean, Eddie, we're talking 106 points put up in 2 weeks, Eddie, against 2 national in the playoffs, Eddie. 2 competitors in the playoffs, and they haven't scored over 25 points total. 100 to 25, Eddie. Indiana is that damn team, I'll tell you right now. And I got to say it, man. Damn, they're good. Damn, they're good.
Yeah, Signotti has coached up this team. None of these guys were like, I don't think they have any 4 or 5-star athletes on their team. It's guys.
No, I think it's Surratt was the only 4-star recruit coming in, Eddie. I mean, Mendoza was a 3-star guy. Look, he's been to JC schools. He's transferred in the portal. He wasn't the biggest recruit, Eddie, coming in last year. For the Mendoza, Mendoza as a quarterback for Signetti, he wasn't. You put these players together that build chemistry, that work together. We always say it, Eddie. 11 hats on a team. That's what you have. You don't have a whole roster of all-stars. We've seen that, Eddie. Look at all these prize possession teams that build name players, i.e. Colorado. Greatest coaching staff in the world, right? Bunch of idiots. They can't coach. They get the players in. They're nothing. You can build teams. You can buy teams. But money always doesn't buy the scheme and schematics that you need for a team. And Signetti has built that, Eddie. He's built that. But Oregon, man, okay, I said Finnery's going to get a pick. He's going to go into the end zone and get a pick. My man only got 1 tackle the entire game, Eddie. He got burnt all the time. He got burnt. But, Eddie, real quick, you got to give me some credit, though. I'm not going to say Oregon would have won, Eddie. I'm not going to say they would have won. But, man, we were down to our 3rd, 4th, and 5th running backs, man. Come on, Eddie. Whittingham didn't play. Right game time decision. What's the kid named Harris? He was on the transfer portal, Eddie. He transferred from Oregon. They called him 3 days before the game. We need you to come back and play. He played. And he was the best running back they had. I mean, I'm not saying they would have won, Eddie. I'm not saying Oregon would have won if they had Whittingham. I'm not.
I just don't think Oregon's group of running backs are that great anyway. Yeah, Whittingham, he's a okay running back, but not like he's not a Hamby or one of these top running backs.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't think he would have made a difference, Eddie. I'm not saying they would, but I use it as an excuse saying, hey, I was missing my 2-star running backs from Oregon, but Oregon is space eaters. They like to get out in space. Indiana's defense's front 7 is fast. I mean, they're Aiden Fisher, that linebacker, my God, this kid is everywhere, Eddie. I mean, you run to the right, he's at the right. You run the middle, he's in the middle. He's in every gap possible. This guy is nasty. And I don't care. Well, if Barry Sanders was playing for the Oregon Ducks, it might be a little bit different, but he wasn't. They were going to stop everybody, Eddie. And here's the thing. That Indiana defense took away their number 1 wide receiver, tight end, Sadiq. 2 catches the entire game. I'm sorry, 3 catches the entire game for 30 yards. And this kid is NFL-ready prospect coming to the draft. He could be a top 10 pick, and you shut him down, Eddie. That's the Indiana defense.
That shows you how good those inside linebackers are to keep him blanketed.
And that's the thing. They didn't let him get to the second level, too, because Sadiq can get to the second level past the linebackers. They didn't let him get past there. They didn't. His longest catch was a 7-yard catch. That shows me something. That's Indiana's team is coached, Eddie. Coached. Fundamental football. Keep it in front of you. Make the tackle. Very simple. This team, man. And even the Oregon defense, Eddie, they looked. Here's a crazy thing about this, Eddie. We watch all college football. Hell, we watch 30 games a week if we do. But here's the thing. Oregon's defense never gets gassed, Eddie, because that offense is on the field for so long. That offense was off the field 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. That Indiana offense just went right down, kept that defense on the field. They were gassed. That's something I've never seen in my life, Eddie. The Oregon defense gassed? I've never seen that.
And sometimes that Oregon offense was one and touchdown, like on the opening play of the game.
Eddie, when I seen that, we talked about that. Oh my God, when we talked about it last week, and I said, this is not going to happen. And I'm watching the game, and I'm sitting there like, God, I know my ears are ringing right now because Eddie's trying to scream at me right now. Then I see in the group chat like, oh, here we go. Quack, quack, Paul, where's it at? Yeah, First play of the game, bam. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a long, long night, man. Oh, man. But, Eddie, the only bright spot for Oregon, man, I love the walk-on kid, Bryce Pachetter, the linebacker. He's good, yeah. Eddie. I mean, he's a lunch pail linebacker. I like how this kid plays, but I don't know, man. One person can't build a team, Eddie, and that's what Oregon looked like. Dante Moore, the craziest thing is, Eddie, Dante Moore had 5 rushes minus 48 yards. 5 rushes minus 48 yards for a running quarterback, Eddie, who had damn near 1,000 yards this season. The pursuit was amazing by Indiana. It was. Oh, gosh. And Mendoza, 17 for 20, Eddie. Didn't have to throw the ball. 177, 5 TDs. Could have had a lot more easily. But their wide receivers, man, Cooper, Surratt. I love these kids. Becker, wide receiver as well. I love these kids, how they play. To me, Eddie, I got to give them credit, man. Indiana freaking looks good. They look good, man. They look really good. Anything else you want to talk about this game, Eddie? I know, this is your time to say, Paul, right here to you. Go ahead. I'll take it. I'll take it, Eddie. I'll take it. Thought it was going to be close. But, 56-22. That's not very close. That's 44 points. 34 points.
I'm dreaming of Aiden Fisher being in that silver and with a helmet with a star on it next year.
Okay, well, do you think he's worth a 12 or 20 pick though in the NFL draft?
No, I think we can get him in like the fourth round pick.
I think so too. I think he's like under the radar linebacker. To me, that's what I needed. What he showcased, to me, Eddie, we do the Cowboy show, of course. He's like a Jack Sanborn, a little bit undersized, but Eddie, man, he brings that lunch pail mentality, dude, to the ball. It doesn't matter. He's undersized. He's going to hit the hole. He's going to make the tackle. He makes the right angles. He makes the right reads. The kid is nasty. I love this kid. But let's move on to this week here. That's what we came to talk about here, man. Talk about 2 homecomings real quick. You mentioned it, backstage. Mendoza's family's from Miami, 30 miles from the stadium here. He's going home. But Miami is playing on their home field, Eddie. I mean, that's kind of crazy, though, because you're going to be in the visitor locker room in your home stadium because Indiana's home as the higher-ranked team. How does that feel to you, Eddie? I mean, Cristobal was on ESPN today. I usually don't watch ESPN because I don't like their analysts. I don't like listening to them. I like pass the eye test. But Cristobal, they asked him the question today, how are you preparing for this game? Anything different coming up to this game? Now, we're staying in the same hotel. We're doing the same thing. We're treating this like a road game, not a home game. All my people will be in at 8 o'clock tonight. We will walk through, do our certain things for the whole weekend. I respect that. He's taking it serious, which he should, of course. But does this play better for Indiana being on the road in Miami's home? Or does this play better for Indiana playing where they played 6 games this year, Eddie? 6 games this year. What do you think?
I don't think it matters just because Indiana has proven that they can look. They went down to Oregon and beat Oregon in Oregon, for Pete's sakes.
You're right.
They went on the road and beat Alabama's ass, and then they beat Oregon's ass. So
And you know what, Eddie, you're right. They're proven, man. Look at Penn State up in in the Happy Valley. Their last second of the game, toe tap by by Cooper there. Like we're talking like grass cutting, Eddie. That's how close he was to being out of bounds. He's proven. Last play of the game, boom. They know how to win, and you're right. They played Ohio State at a neutral field in the Big Ten championship. They beat them. They go to Oregon. They're a team that's tested. They don't care where they play. They're every game on them. They feel that they're on the road. They're the dogs. They're going to beat everybody. They're out to prove something. But coaching wise, Eddie, Cristobal, we know. Okay, here's the thing. We know Cristobal makes some dumbass mistakes. We know that. But Eddie, let's give the guy credit. He hasn't made bonehead mistakes in the playoffs. He hasn't. He's coached a team the right way, not putting the team in bad situations, putting them in proper situations, and coaching the team. Okay, is this Cristobal, like, did he go to Barnes and Nobles and read Coaching for Dummies 101? Because he's coaching his ass off right now. Not Cignetti level, but he's coaching his ass off, Eddie, right? Am I right or wrong?
Compared to what he's in his previous years, you're right.
Yeah,
but I just have this. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop with Cristobal.
Eddie, see, you're going to jinx him, man. You're going to jinx him. Watch this week. Monday night, he's going to come up with some bonehead situation, and they're going to kneel. What, Eddie? It's going to be game time. Last play of the game. He's going to kneel the ball down. He's going to run the damn play. It's going to be a fumble. Indiana's going to run it all the way back for a touchdown. We've seen it happen, right? That's Cristobal, right? Kneel the ball, take the victory. You're done. Walk away. I'm going to run the damn ball. Okay, well, do what you got to do. Lose the game, but I don't think he makes a mistake. I really don't, because the way he's coaching right now, this team, man, is flying. What do you think the best defense is right now? Miami or Indiana?
No. Indiana's defense as a whole is better than Miami's defense. You got Miami has their front four there, but I think Indiana is pretty even. I think Indiana's front four is pretty darn good too. So
I like the front four. Indiana's front four: Tucker, Daly, Kamara, and Landonino. I like their front four. They're nasty. They're physical. But to me, they're strong suitors. They're linebackers, man. Their linebackers are good. They get after you. They follow the ball, see ball, tackle ball, get ball. That's what they do. But, Eddie, this offensive line for Miami, man, I'll tell you what. I hate Miami. You do too. But I tell you what, Eddie, this is convict football, brother. This is physical. This is physical smash mouth football. The only thing I can see, I know Indiana can score, Eddie. I know they can put up 50 back-to-back weeks against Alabama and, Oregon here. But Eddie, that front line for Miami with Fletcher running back, Eddie, they can pound you. They can pound you, Eddie. They can physically dominate the trench if they have to. What do you think?
There's a big difference There's a big difference between playing Indiana and playing Ole Miss. Ole Miss was undersized.
Yeah, Ole Miss was a small line, offense and defensive line. They're built for speed. We know Lane Kiffin's team is built for speed. Half the SEC is more physical, but their speed as well. But you're right about that. I think ACC football, Eddie, versus Big Ten football. We're talking JV versus varsity in the trenches here. I get that. But the way they're playing, Eddie, it's 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. I really think Miami can move the ball. I really do. I don't think they're going to move the ball in the air, Eddie, because you take away Malachi Toney, Eddie, that's 90% of their offense right there. That's 90% of the offense. The kid's a freshman. 99 catches as a freshman, Eddie. Amazing. He's going to be an NFL first-round pick when he comes out in a couple of years. But Malachi Toney, you take him away, Eddie, what do you have? All you really have is Fletcher. These other wide receivers are not as great as from Miami. I mean, they're not. I mean, their other wide receiver, what was his name? Marion or something like that. He only had 400 yards. He only had 400 yards all season. You take away Malachi Toney, you don't have anything, Eddie. So you don't think Cignetti's sitting there licking his lips saying, well, we know what the number one read is. It's Malachi Toney. Double up on him because he comes on screens. He comes on flares. He can take the go route or little bubbles out there. You take him away, you got to make Carson Beck beat you, right? And we know Carson Beck, just like you said with Mario Cristobal. Carson Beck is good versus bad. Yeah. So how do you attack this game? How do you attack this game if you're Miami, Eddie?
I know their left tackle. He's a big boy, 6'9",
God,
but
6'9".
he has issues against
Yeah.
faster edge rushers.
Eddie, did you see last week in the Indiana game? I think it was, God, who was it? I think it was either Landino or Tucker played the edge. Eddie, I seen something. Remember how we talked about the Cowboys running 5-2 versus the Raiders and they played the Eagles next week? Signetti ran something that game when they're up 24 points. He put one of those defensive linemen far out, like the Eagles used to run the wide nine. You remember that, how they ran the wide nine? Signetti put defensive end wide. I'm talking like the wide nine, Eddie, because that's exactly what he's seeing, what you just said right there. He struggles against outside speed rushers. His first move, run stopping, he's amazing. But pass blocking, that first step off that lateral movement off the left, he's slow. Signetti's already seen something, Eddie. He's already seen that right there. I guarantee you they're going to run wide nine on that left side. I guarantee it. He's smart. But you're right. That pass blocking is not the greatest for him. 6'9", 380 pounds. You can't move outside on a speed rush. Not going to be able to do it.
I think for the NFL, he might have to move to guard in the NFL.
I would think so too. I mean, he's going to be a first round pick with that size, of course. But you got to move him inside because your blind side. If you got rushers like that, you're going to get your quarterback killed. Yeah.
Wanna who he reminds me of? Becton. When Becton played at Louisville, Becton 6'8".
Yeah, you're right.
But when he got to the NFL, he had trouble playing left tackle. He didn't start shining until he got moved to guard.
Yeah, by the Eagles, playing with the Jets for all that time outside. Yeah. Then he comes inside and he plays great. Michael Packard checking. He's like, "What's up, fellas? What's going on, Michael? Hope all is well with you, brother." I know, Michael. I know you don't watch a lot of college football, man. But listen.
Hey, Michael.
Who do you think's going to win? Go ahead, Eddie.
Hey, Michael. How's the comfy couch there, buddy?
Well, people don't know what you're talking about, the comfy couch. We're just going to let everybody know real quick. This is what we do. This is the Cowboys Weekly Show we do on Monday night, or Wednesday night, 8 p.m. The NFC East Big Comfy Couch. That's right. The Eagles, the Commanders, the Giants are all sitting with the family. That's us. Yes, sir. We're happy about that. So welcome to the NFC East Comfy Couch. But, yeah, my Notre Dame's there, too, sitting in the background because they didn't even make the playoffs. But anyway, Indiana's offense, Eddie. Mendoza, man, Heisman Trophy winner. I was always a person that Heisman Trophy shouldn't be announced till after the season, Eddie. I don't like it because a lot of times we see Heisman Trophy candidates go out there and shit the bed. They look like crap the last, championship game, playoffs, what have you. But Mendoza, man, he's living up to that Heisman Trophy. He's living up to it, Eddie. I haven't seen a Heisman Trophy like this that is respected on the field. But, Eddie, I'll tell you what, I respect him more off the field. I really do. That game against Alabama, he was definitely the offensive MVP, Eddie. You know that. He disregarded it and gave it to a transfer from Notre Dame, Eddie. He gave it to an offensive lineman. That, to me, is respected, number one, Eddie, because accolades mean something to certain players. But Mendoza, it don't mean shit. Until I hoist that trophy at the end of the year, that's what counts. I respect that kid so much, Eddie. He's built the right way. His mom, I think, has Parkinson's or something like that, or scoliosis or something like that. And this kid, the way he took his Heisman Trophy, Eddie, he gave all credit in the world to God and his mom. That means something to me. Like, I see a lot of players that say that, but I'll tell you what, just looking at the kid's words and looking at his feelings, it showed me that this kid is genuine, dude. He really is. And I wish this kid everything in the world, Eddie, but Indiana's offense, man, Hemby, Black at running back, Sarah at junior at wide receiver. God, we didn't even mention Cooper at a wide receiver, Eddie. This team is stacked on offense, Eddie. Pick your poison, right? Pick your poison.
I just don't see if you think Miami can run the ball. I think Indiana can even run the ball better than Miami because they have two running backs.
They do, but you know what the one thing is? I mean, we talk Bain being a top 5 pick next year in the draft, right? Ruben Bain Jr. coming from Miami. But here's the thing. He wasn't really a showcase last week, Eddie. I don't even remember hearing his name really a lot. They ran away from him. He didn't get in the backfield. He didn't get sacks. He really didn't do anything last week, Eddie. I mean, Signetti's probably, he's a man. He's going to be watching that film, do exactly what they did. All we got to do is just initiate the plan, proper plan, execute the plan. We win the game. We're the better team. But Ruben Bain wasn't found last weekend. He was like nowhere. He was MIA on the field. The best defenser on the field. He wasn't even being found. I mean, what do you think that was? Do you think that was just game plan, execute against the best player, run toward him, don't run away from him? What do you think?
It was just good game planning by Ole Miss.
It was. I mean, I just think Ole Miss. Let me ask you this, Eddie. If Lane Kiffin coached last week, do you think Ole Miss would have beat Miami?
I believe so. I believe Ole Miss would have beaten Miami.
I think so too. I mean, I've seen a lot of games where Ole Miss, with Lane Kiffin, of course, that I know Chambliss didn't have the best game. I get that. I know that. Sorry for the kid. He didn't have the best game. But I seen Lane Kiffin late in the fourth quarter make some serious adjustments where, you show run, you go 5 wide. You can't stop me. And the other thing is, Ole Miss gave them so many plays, Eddie, where they weren't no huddle. Lane Kiffin is no huddle. Balls, gassed 100%. That wasn't Ole Miss's team last week. That's where I think Indiana comes out this week and says, they're physical. They're fast. Defensive line, offensive line, here's what we're going to do. When we're on offense, it's NASCAR. Get the ball and let's go. No timeouts, no huddles. Let's just run it down the field. We know we're smart. We can execute the plays. I think they control the clock and keep this defense on the field, Eddie. I really do. And let them get gassed like I seen Oregon last week because they're not used to it. What do you think?
Oh, man. If Miami's defense gets gassed in the first half, they're in trouble. It could be ugly.
You're right about that. I mean, I think if Indiana gets up quick by 10 points, that's going to show something because this Miami team, Eddie, is not built to come back. This isn't Cam Ward last year, no defense, I can score 50 points easy. This isn't that team. This team is physical trench team. They're not meant to score fast. So my thing is if Indiana gets out fast, God, this could be Indiana versus Oregon. Could be Indiana versus Alabama. This could get out of reach very fast, Eddie. It really does. Because Indiana's defense, they're not going to make mistakes, Eddie. They'll give up a couple points, bend, but don't break. But they're not giving up a 10-point lead going into any quarter. I just don't see it because from a head coach, Cignetti, that never smiles, ever, being up 40 points and don't smile, he's not going to let us throw off the gas, Eddie. I'll tell you that. He's not. But is there any way possible, Eddie, that these Hurricanes at home can beat Indiana? Is there any way, Eddie? I mean, Michael Irvin, Willis McGahee, Ray Lewis, these guys aren't coming back. Brown, nobody's coming back to play for the Miami Hurricanes. Is there any way for these guys to win?
The food poisoning. The Indiana Hoosiers would have to get food poisoning.
Well, you know what? That could happen. That could happen because they are playing in Miami's home field, Hard Rock there. They are playing. So, I mean, all they have to do is make a call and say, Indiana's going to be ordering from wherever they order. Let's just put a couple of drops of dog shit in there, a little liquid dog shit or something like that. The next morning they get all food poisoning. See Mendoza out there. They're running Hardys. Everybody's throwing up. Hemby's out there throwing up. That's the only way I can see it possibly winning. But you don't think there's any way that they can win? You don't think there's any way they can win?
No, I just don't see it.
I don't want to give a score yet, but you're already talking to me like this is going to be an ass kicking again. That's the way I'm feeling you speak here.
I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the last 2 games that Indiana's been in, but I don't think.
Okay.
It's just. You think that Kurt Zanetti's going to let his players order food to eat from that he doesn't know what the food came from? Heck no.
Cignetti's going to probably give him MREs like the military used to be, packaged food, and that's it. You ain't eating anything else. That's him. That's that kind of guy he is. Because, hey, he learned from the best coach in the world, Nick Saban. He knows all the tricks and trades, being on the road versus you're the dog, nobody likes you. All he says is all I do is win. Well, he does, but he's very smart. I mean, we're always joking about the food poisoning thing, but.
Yeah. Or they get home cooking from the Mendoza family.
That's the thing, too. That's a great thing, too. We talk about stories, Miami being in the visitor locker room at home in a national championship game. But The greatest thing is Mendoza's man's family only lives 30 minutes away. You know, I did read something where I forgot who it was. I think what's the tight end's name? Riley Nowowski or something like that,
Yeah.
who is Mendoza's roommate. You know, he says something like, when we're at home, you know, I know their family lives in Florida, but when they come up here for football season, they have a house here. The offense goes to the Mendoza house to eat. So you know damn well they're eating a home cooked meal in Miami, you know, by Mendoza family. We already know that. We know that. Yeah, we know that. She's already got the whole spread laid out. Yeah, 100%, 100%. But Eddie, you don't think Miami can win this game?
Nope.
I mean, you take away Malachi Tony, Eddie, you still got to stop Fletcher, right?
Yeah, but I think that Indiana's defense is so good that even if he gets past the front four, he's going to have some hungry linebackers at him.
Okay. Yeah, you got Aiden Fisher out there. You got the linebackers out there. I mean, Zach Jones is out there. You got some big boys out there. I get that. Indiana's strong up their front. Their linebackers are the best in the nation. I used to say that about Texas Tech, but I think Indiana's linebacker crew as a group is a standout. But Eddie, you know, I coach, and I would say this, Eddie. 3 times 4 equals 12. That moves to 6. That's something Miami can do, Eddie. If you don't want to get this into a foot race, you know, NASCAR event, you want to run the damn ball, be physical, run the ball. Because here's the thing: if you go into first down and you get 1 or 2 yards, Eddie, you're already behind the 6, 2nd and 8. Okay, on first down is the biggest thing for Miami. They got to make it to like 2nd and 5 at least. Then you go 3rd and 1. Then you got that shot. You go 3rd and 8 against this Indiana team, Eddie, that's when they pin the ears back and they come after you. Their corners can play one-on-one. Their safeties are smart. The linebackers, they're stunting and twisting. They're licking their lips. They're finding holes to create. Indiana is that team. Miami cannot get into a situation being 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 constantly, because that's where Indiana feasts, Eddie. That's where they feast. I do think Miami could, I don't want to say win the game. I don't. I'm going to be smart this week, Eddie. I'm going to go out in the last week. I'm going to be smart. I'm not going to be stupid and say duck, duck, quack attack anymore. I'm not doing it. Last damn show of the season, in the regular season, I'm going out smart. I'm not going to be stupid this week, okay? I don't care. I'm going to be smart. Put on your thinking cap, Paul. But, yeah, I think Miami can keep it close, Eddie, by just what I said. Run the ball and be physical. Be Miami football. Don't base away from an identity. Play Miami football in the trenches. Be smart. Run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. Because I don't want the game in Carson Beck's hands being down 10 points, Eddie. I don't. So run the ball, Cristobal. Run the damn ball. Don't come out like, you know, Cliff Kingsbury with Mahomes rocking the ball somewhere 50 times a game. I don't want to see it. Be Miami, and you can stay in the game. Not win it. Well, I mean, you never know. You're going to stay close, put it that way. What does Indiana have to do, Eddie, in this game? Be Indiana.
Just be themselves. Don't change anything what they've been doing.
And that's the craziest thing. We've seen Mendoza throw for 300 yards. We've seen him throw for 400 yards, Eddie. But he does only enough what his team needs, Eddie. 50-some points in the last 2 weeks, Eddie. And the guy hasn't had over 250 yards each game. He doesn't have to, because that team is so complete where you have a running game that can get you 300 on the ground. If the passing game's there, he'll get you 300 in the air. They go with no names on their back. They are like, you know, the Army team. It just says, you know, strong on the back. Everybody is one guy on that team. They don't care about stats, Eddie. That's the thing. Play Indiana football. I don't think anybody. I don't care if. You all right? Okay. Yeah. God. Oh man, I thought you were like how I felt last week taking the Ducks, man. You know, but I think this Indiana team. I don't care if you put an all Big Team 10 together, all stars. I don't think they could beat Indiana right now. I don't. I think they're that damn good, Eddie. They play as a unit. That's the thing I love. So, Eddie. Let's do some game time decisions here, man. Let's talk about this, Eddie. Line is, you know, this is the largest line in college football playoffs, 11.5, since it's been out.
Oh, the last time I saw it was at 8, so it went up 3 points.
I had it earlier this morning at 11.5. That's on Caesars. I did look at FanDuel. They're at 10.5. MGM's at 10.5. Bet360 is the lowest one. They're 8.5. So let's put it in the middle there. 8 to 11. Let's just say a 10-point swing, Eddie. Indiana, man, they've already rocked one team, Alabama, by 30s plus. They rocked Oregon by 34. This line is 10. The other line when they played Oregon was 7, Eddie. When they played Alabama, it was 7.5. Eddie, they're beating teams by triple digits. I mean, not triple digits, 30 points here. 30 points, Eddie. Is 10 too low or is 10 too high? Eddie, this is a national championship game. This is a national. The two best teams right now. Is 10 too much or is 10 not enough?
I think it's about right.
We weren't saying that the last 2 weeks, Eddie. I mean, we you said blowout, but did you expect 30 points on both teams? A blowout? No. So 10 points you think is okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. The last one, Eddie, I'll tell you a little story real quick. You probably know this. The group knows this. The last time the line was over a 10.5 point spread, I got to go back to where a team played undefeated. Notre Dame University goes and plays Alabama. Remember that game, Eddie? that was the last college football championship game I've ever been to 2. That's it. I went to the Rose Bowl where Texas played USC. That was the last big game I went to. I went to the Alabama Notre Dame game. And let's put it this way. The ticket I bought was probably about $1,400. Not a nosebleed, very close to the field, $1,400. Airfare about $800, so we're at $22. Hotel for 3 days was probably like $1,000. This game was on a Saturday night, Eddie. I got there Friday. Eddie, I left Saturday night around 2:00. I didn't want to stay anymore. Put it that way. I took Notre Dame plus the 13.5, Eddie. They were down 24 points in the first half, Eddie. Okay, they lost by 34 points, Eddie. I put a $10,000 bet, Eddie, on Notre Dame that year to win plus the 13. So I lost almost $16,000, Eddie, that game.
That was one of the few games I've ever put a bet on. I won $100. Thank you, Alabama.
Yeah, no, that to me is like my thing now is like when I bet, I do not bet with my head. I bet I do bet with my head now, but with my heart, I took Notre Dame thinking like, hey, Manti Te'o is going to win this game. We're doing great. He's the base linebacker out there. He's going to bring his invisible girlfriend to the game. We're all going to win. She's going to be like the 12th man out there. We're going to win this game. And, that's the last time the line has been over 10.5 points, though, Eddie. And you look at that ass kicking they put on by 30-some points. I'll be honest with you. I enjoy being at the game. I love my team. I love going to games. I'll root for a team that, just going to a game. I love being at football atmosphere. And I'll tell you what, Eddie, that game, I left in the third quarter. That's how bad it was. And Eddie, I went by myself. I flew down there whole weekend, spent Friday night, Saturday. I'm at the game. And, I left third quarter. I went back to my room, packed up my shit, and I called the airport. I was like, can I get a next flight out? And they're like, well, we have one at like 3:00 in the morning. Can you book me on that one? Let me just, erase the other flight and get on that one. I have a family emergency. And I remember the one girl, she was like the ticket counter. She's like, what's the emergency? I'm like, my mom just passed away. I had to fucking use that because I had to get out of there so bad. I didn't want to stay anymore, Eddie. I didn't want to be down there because I had my Manti Te'o jersey on, Eddie. My face was green. Okay. I had my ND hat on. I was decked out. I even had the leprechauns, which I don't know if you guys see it on Chucky back there. I still have the leprechauns from that game, the little beads and everything. But yeah, Eddie, that was the last game I really went to. And I'll tell you what, it was just an ass kicking. And I just want to see a good game. I want to see a good game. I don't want to see an ass kicking. That's what I want to see. So what score are we looking at, Eddie? Let's be real here. 10-point line. Indiana has rocked teams like crazy. Miami's defense is playing elite. Cristobal hasn't made a mistake yet. Carson Beck is playing pretty damn good, putting the team on his back, scoring at the last drive, making it look good. But you're going against the Indiana team that many are calling this David versus Goliath. How do you see this game playing out score-wise, Eddie? I'll let you go first because, you kicked my ass last week when I said duck, duck, quack attack, and look what happened.
I think it's going to be like a 31-17 score. I think Indiana's going to control the clock with their running game.
That's still a lot of points controlling the clock with 31 points, though. That's a lot. I mean,
Yeah, I can see Indiana getting a pick six somewhere in there.
I wouldn't put us to press this offense, honestly. I mean, the way I look at it, could happen because they're gonna control Malachi Tony, their best weapon. They're gonna put a guy on top of him wherever he goes. They're gonna double team him. I get that. And this Indiana defense, you don't have to put 5 in the box against this Miami team because their front four stout. Their linebackers are the best in the nation as a team. You're going to control Fletcher. He's going to get a couple gassing yards, maybe like 8 or 9 yards on a couple carries. I get that. That's going to happen. They're going to get gassed once in a while. Hit the right hole, it happens. But I could see Indiana getting a pick 6 on this team really quick, Eddie. I really do. You got 31-17. God, man. I mean, Indiana's like my third favorite team because I was born in Indianapolis. Oh, God. I don't think it's a blowout. I really don't. Based on what I've seen with Signetti's team, offense, defense, they're completely sound. 22 men on the field. They're nasty. God, man. Oh, Indiana. 38. Miami. 38-19. They double them up. 38-19.
So I have it a little closer than you then.
You do. I mean, based on what I'm seeing, Eddie, Indiana, the way they're playing, I mean, I thought Indiana would beat Alabama, but I didn't think it was going to be like that, Eddie. You don't beat Bama. Well, it is Kalen DeBoer, but still, But and then
I have never received an ass whooping from my mom like what Alabama took.
Yeah, you know what? As an Alabama guy, like I tell you what. It's something that I'm not used to, Eddie. I don't like Alabama still for the reason that they beat the shit out of my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Of course, still remember that. It's like nightmares I have. But it's great to see an Alabama team get their ass whooped. And I get it. It's not Nick Saban. It's Kalen DeBoer. But it feels pretty good, Eddie, when – then the other thing is this. The best division in football is not the SEC anymore, Eddie. It's the Big Ten. It's the Big Ten. It's not the SEC anymore. And I'm so glad I say that because I am so tired of seeing Paul Feinbaum with his big ass ears, talk about the SEC being the most dominant conference ever and still will be. I say hate. I shouldn't say it, but I hate that guy. I hate that guy because he's so biased. He's so biased.
Yeah. I'm just surprised we haven't seen Paul Feinbaum fly away with those Dumbo ears of his.
That's what I mean. I've seen some comments on Twitter. Like I see exactly what you said. I seen some comments like, "Hey, Feinbaum, take your Dumbo ears and fly your ass back to where you came from because the SEC sucks." But it's kind of crazy that the team that made us furthest was Ole Miss. Usually it's Georgia. It's Alabama. But man, I tell you, some of these teams, Eddie. I mean, Miami. Give them credit where they are, Eddie. A bubble team just barely trying to make it in. The debate, Notre Dame. Let me ask you this real quick. You got a couple minutes here. Okay, Miami is where they're at, Eddie. They were a bubble team, either 11 and 12 getting in. We know that. Even, James Madison, of course, and Tulsa got in, by bullshit. We know that. Non-Power 5. We get that. Eddie, regardless of where Miami's at right now in the national championship, yes, they beat some quality teams, Eddie. They beat Georgia. They beat Ole Miss. Give them credit. If Notre Dame would have got in over Miami, would Notre Dame be in the national championship playing the same teams, Georgia, who they beat last year in the playoffs, versus an Ole Miss team? Would Notre Dame be in the same spot as Miami playing Indiana right now? Do you think?
Yes, because Notre Dame has that running game, the two-headed monster.
And Jeremiah Love would not have declared for the NFL draft till after the season. Jerry and Price the same way. They would have both played. They would have both stayed for the team. I get that in the season. Do you think Notre Dame was still the better team, Eddie, than Miami, even though they're in the national championship?
That could be a question mark right there. But I would say Notre Dame was better than Alabama. That's the team I had a problem with getting in the playoffs was Alabama.
Yeah, I still agree with a 9-3 team, Eddie. They came out in the committee and said that the championship game, your SEC championship game, Big 12, Big 10 championship means nothing. It means nothing. You're not going to drop. That's bullshit. I don't care. You lose a game, that's a game on your record. You know, the blemish, okay, Miami didn't play in the ACC championship. They didn't even make the championship. Notre Dame doesn't play one because they're independent. They didn't have to. They don't play one. But do you hold accountability where you say they weren't in the ACC championship? They didn't even make it there, but they're the higher ranked team, Virginia and Duke. They oversee those. Notre Dame should have been in the top 6 team in the nation at the end of the season than where they were playing, Eddie. Do you think that the committee better changes to like March Madness, where they say, okay, look, you win your conference, you know, your big Power 5, Eddie, I get it, SEC, Big 10, even ACC, I don't care, Big 12, the 4 conferences. You put them 1, 2, 3, 4 as the highest ranking. Then you go 5 to, let's just make it 5 to 16, Eddie. 5 to 16, you throw 11 teams out there, the best ranked teams, Eddie. The best ranked teams. The 15th, the 16th seed, you know what? They play a playing game just like the March Madness does. The best non-Power 5 out of the top 25 with the best record, they get one shot to play in. If they make it, they're in. They play the 16th seed. Otherwise, you're out. How do you change the college football atmosphere? NIL has ruined it. Transfer portal's ruined it. It's ruined. How does Eddie, if you're the commissioner of the CBF playoffs, make this better for next year, Eddie? Because there's bullshit this year, Eddie. Notre Dame, Miami, Alabama, James Madison, Tulsa. Something has to change for next year, which we'll talk about in the season coming up. But what do you do right now?
First of all, the first team that would have been out would have been Bama. No 3-loss team should belong, especially the way they got embarrassed in the SEC title game. They got whacked. They got whacked. They got whacked Oregon style.
Yeah, but here's the thing: do you put James Madison and Tulsa over
Alabama?
Yes, over Alabama.
Yes, I would, just out of principle.
Okay.
3-loss.
So how do you base Notre Dame? Okay, Notre Dame cannot be in the top 6 no matter what. If they go 13-0 all season, Eddie, as an independent, they can't be higher than 6 because they're independent. They don't deserve one of the top 5 spots. So how do you base a Notre Dame team? Eddie, I'll be honest with you. I looked at the schedule next year. Eddie, 12-0 right off the rip. 12-0 easy. Cupcake schedule next year. What do you do with them? What do you do with them?
I do think they improved their schedule a little bit when they got BYU instead of those Southern California pansies.
Well, that rivalry is going to be gone pretty soon too. We already know that. That's gone. But how do you base it, Eddie, on strength of schedule? Because Notre Dame's strength of schedule is not going to be in the top 30 next year, and they go 13-0. Where do you put them? Because that's not. What do you do with them?
Their schedule, and no, it's not a strong schedule, but guess what? They still don't have schools like Mercy or any of those real pansy schools on their schedule. They at least have Division I schools on their. That
is true. That is true. They don't play like the 5 schools. The Sisters of the Blind, or the one-legged journeyman down there. They don't play them. But my thing is this forcing? I'm just saying this because I'm a Notre Dame fan. You know that. Is this forcing Notre Dame to join a conference? Basketball, they're in a conference. Hockey, they're in a conference. Every baseball, they're in a conference. They're in ACC. Notre Dame will never go to the AC football-wise because they own the rights to Notre Dame Saturday, Eddie. They make almost $1 billion a year revenue from just being independent from the football. Look what happened. Everybody says Notre Dame lost almost, $24 million for not going to the bowl game because they would have played most likely Texas, is what people were saying. You know what? The money's not the point. When the AD comes out and says, we kind of got screwed, we don't care about the money. We're not going to go. I respect that. But how does this control Notre Dame, Eddie, going into the future? Do they have to join the ACC?
They weren't going to lose $24 million by skipping the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Well, no, I mean, revenue-wise, committed, because you remember when they played Eastern Illinois? Eastern Illinois made $11 million to come play them at Notre Dame and beat them that week. But they are going to make the money in revenue for the team to come down and play. I get all that. But what does this force Notre Dame to do, Eddie? Do they have to join the ACC?
Nope. I think, especially
now, it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, but guess what? They have something in place now. to protect them, all they have to do is finish in the top 12.
That's not true. Look what happened this year, Eddie. They were the number 8 team in the nation, Eddie, at the last rankings. They were 8 in the rankings. And they got outed by Alabama, who Miami was ranked 9th, Eddie, was ranked 9th in the nation. So being in the top 12 is disregarding that.
Yeah, but the way that Alabama looked, I think Alabama hurt themselves worse than Notre Dame with their strength of schedule, because I think Alabama lost a lot of respect the way they got manhandled.
Yeah,
their last 2 games.
But still, they are still playing the SEC, Eddie. That division is still a juggernaut. I mean, you still have Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU. You have some top teams every year, Big Ten. And that's what people were saying. That's what Feinbaum said. He's like, you really want to put a Notre Dame team in here is only really that lost to Texas A&M, Miami back-to-back. Regardless, Eddie, they only lost by 4 points, 2 games total. They're only 2 losses. But you want to put them in over a team that's battled every week like Alabama, who loses 3 games to top 25 teams each week. Each week you lose to them.
They lost to Florida State, for Pete's sake. Trash football.
Yeah, I remember that. Week 1, wasn't that week 1?
Yep. That's a Division II football program now.
But the crazy thing is, I always say this too in college football. If you lose, you want to lose early. Look at Notre Dame last year. They lost to Eastern Illinois, ran off 11 straight, got to the national championship game. To me, I don't care. I do care about record. I don't want a 5-6 team in there. I get all that. But to me, at the end of the season, I go back the last 4 weeks and I say, damn, that team's playing ball right now. That Miami team's playing ball. They deserve to be there. Bama, damn, you lose to Georgia, you get whacked. You barely beat some teams coming in the last couple of weeks here. You're struggling. Are you really a top team to me? Are you really looking good in the end of the season? NFL, we want the best teams. Anything can happen in the NFL, Eddie. The best teams are there for a reason. College football should be the same way going into the playoffs. They really should. And I'm not just saying that because Notre Dame should have been in there, I believe, but something needs to change because I just don't. I hate seeing teams like James Madison and Tulsa, Eddie, get in there when there's deserving teams that. Just imagine if Indiana would have played James Madison or Tulsa, Eddie. Old Miss put a beat down on them. Oregon put a beat down on them. Just imagine what Indiana would have done to those 2 teams. Come on.
Yeah, but I think James Madison would have been competitive against Alabama the way that James Madison was able to move the ball in Oregon.
Okay, then you make it a playing game. Then you know what? You take that. There's enough bowl games, Eddie. I don't even watch bowl games anymore, number one. I don't watch them. Before, God, I would watch every one of them. January 1st, 3 games on, I'm watching that. Every one of them. Every one of them. Now I don't give a damn because, number one, I don't know who's playing, who's transferring, and to me, they're meaningless. To me, the bowl games are so meaningless. You take the Orange Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl, get the Gator Bowl, whatever. I don't care. Those top 5 games right there should be number one at the very end, the playoff system. But the play-in game should have been played this year. Alabama should have been in the game. Okay, yes, they are a quality team. I get that. They should have played a play-in game with or the winner of James Madison and Tulsa. 2 lower-seeded teams, 2 teams that really don't belong. They should play there. You go back and you remember Boise State with Kellen Moore. They're undefeated. Teams like that in a lower conference, they need a play-in game, Eddie, because it's not fair to the top teams that play the schedule and beat your schedule. It's not fair to me. It's not. But, all right, Eddie. Monday night, man. Monday night here. That's when the game happens. All right, so we got an ass kicking from Indiana. I got 38-19. What did you say, 34-17?
No, 31-17.
31-17. Okay, so I got a little bit higher. Okay, I got them double up. You got it. Okay. Well, I was wrong last week. I'm not going to be wrong this week. I'm taking Indiana. I'm going to play smart. I got to go out with the bang. So, yeah.
Yeah, you learn not to go the opposite of the professor.
The reason why I said that, Eddie, last week, I'll tell you. I thought Indiana would win, but I'll tell you what. You know me, I coach offense. I love hybrid offenses. And I get a little fuzzy when I see an offense like Oregon. I told you before, when I coach, my offense is based on Chip Kelly's offense before. I like the run and gun that he had before. I still run it. To me, when I see an offense like that, I put myself out there like, there's so many mismatches. I could do this. I could do that. I could do this. I can do that. But what I forgot, Eddie, is once the game started, I watched the game and I said, holy shit, that's an Indiana team. That is a team that plays both sides of the ball. Yeah, I'm not going to beat this team. Yeah.
In the UCLA, Dante Moore showed up last week.
Oh, you were right. Dante Moore, you at UCLA. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think DTR looked better than him last week. You know, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, when he played at UCLA. Yep. It was just, God. And Dante Moore, I'm going to tell you one thing, man. Congratulations. You played smart. You're going back to college, brother, because you are not ready for the NFL. You're not. And here's the thing. This was funny real quick. When I was watching the game, I was watching on some different, like I had to listen to a podcast the next day. I heard some podcasters say, man, Dante Moore, people had him over Mendoza going into the draft. Man, his draft stock, he just went to the unemployment line after that game. Right? Oh, man. Great decision by him. Great decision by him actually staying one more year, you know. Now, Oregon did lose Sadiq. He is going to the NFL draft too, Eddie. You know, next week, we'll do this next week. I want to talk about some players in the game. Of course, I want to recap the game. And I want to talk about, going into the season, Eddie, the offseason, I want to talk about the NIL. I want to talk about the transfer portal, how it's ruined the game, number one. Eddie, almost 6,000 players had already in the transfer portal. Eddie, that to me is, I don't know. I don't have a word for it, honestly. I really don't. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting that we have that. You know, perfect situation is Dante Moore declares for the NFL draft last week, 3 days ago. Dylan Raiola comes over from Nebraska, gets $5 million per year. I think it was $10.5 million for 2 years to come play at Oregon. Called the starting quarterback already, just walking in the door. Signs the dotted line, gets the money, gets whatever. I don't know how much he got right off the jump there. But the thing was, Dante Moore calls and says, hey, I'm coming back to college. Eddie just paid $5.5 million for a backup quarterback. This is what the college football is, Eddie. It's just bad. You know the first player in college football that got the big deal, Eddie? Do you know his name? He's in the NFL now. Even before he threw a college football pass, Eddie, he signed the NIL deal.
Sanders? Sador?
Nope. Even before him. Way before him. I'll tell you what, he's a quarterback. I'll give you that. He's a quarterback.
Joey B.
Before that.
Joe Burrow.
Before that. Even before this kid threw a ball in college, he played it. I'll give you a hint. You're in Arizona. You know Mater Dei High School in California, the best school out there. He played quarterback there. Small quarterback. Got benched last year. Lost in the
Kyler
playoffs.
Murray?
Nope. Lost in the playoffs last week. It's on the TV.
Jalen Hurts?
Nope. Played for the same school.
Baker.
Nope.
No, wait, but there was no playoffs for Baker this year. So
no more playoffs. No more. He's a small quarterback. Got benched by Andy Dalton last year.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young was the first player to sign an NIL deal the first year coming out as a senior in high school. He got $2.1 million to go to Alabama before he threw a single pass as a freshman. He was the first NIL deal in college football. That's where it got ruined, Eddie. $2.1 million as a freshman, Eddie. Freshman. Insane. Eddie, I'm 54 freaking years old, man. I haven't even seen $1 million in my life. And these dudes are Raiola's getting $5.5 million to be a freaking backup. You know, look at Dylan Gabriel. 6 years in college, Eddie. 6 years in college. I went back and I looked at his numbers, okay? What he got from NIL deal. 6 years, Eddie. UCF, Oklahoma, Oregon. 6 years, Eddie. Do you know how much he made on NIL? Give me a number in millions.
30 million?
$31 million.
Holy cow,
Eddie,
man!
here's the thing. He can't even make an NFL roster, Eddie. $31 million in college. That's an average of $5.25 million a year in 6 years in college, Eddie. $31 million, Eddie. In college? You don't make that money in a rookie contract for 4 years. You don't. Stay in college. Play 6 years in college. I don't care what the degree you get. Go and get a degree in scamming the NFL, the NIL deal. Go get a degree in that, because stay in college 6 years and go get your money. Jesus. It's like craziness. It really is. Oh, Michael Scott, checking in 1640. Thanks for checking in, brother. Appreciate you giving that little smiley face there. Appreciate that, man. If you're still on, let us know who you got in this game. We got it one sided here. You know, we got Indiana routing them by. Eddie's got 13. I got 19 here. So, Eddie, yeah, when we come back next week, we'll recap it. I do want to talk. I want to go out the season. I want to talk about some NIL, transfer portal. I want to talk about some recruiting classes as well. How's your Arizona team looking out there, real quick?
Basketball life, we're number one.
Yeah, I know you're number one in basketball. Yeah.
And the other teams that have been number two, they keep on dropping games. Like Iowa State just got beat bad by Kansas, and Michigan lost to Wisconsin. So,
you know, I haven't watched a lot of Arizona basketball since Sean Elliott left, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I mean, I know they're always good, but I just really haven't watched them since Sean Elliott played out there for a long time, Eddie. You know, that's when I was watching Arizona basketball a lot. But, yeah. All right, Eddie. So we're going to get out of here, man. Really quick, I just want to go over some of the shows. The next show is going to be on. It's going to be Monday night. That's a Sully Squad. It's a Philly thing there. They're a little disappointed, so don't give them a hard time. Okay, don't really give them a hard time. Their Eagles are on the couch. You know, the Sixers. They're playing good, but we already know Joel Embiid, Paul George is probably going to get hurt next week. You know, they're on time management every game. But Flyers are the Flyers. The Phillies are they don't spend money. They're not going anywhere. They're just downfalling right now, so don't give them a hard time, of course. Wednesday night, Cowboys Weekly. Myself and Eddie will be back talking Dallas Cowboys this week. Eddie, hopefully we get a DC. Let's talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about the roster. We talked about the offense last week, give them grades. Now it's time to bring out the Fs, Eddie. It's going to be time to talk about the defense. Yeah. So if you're young out there, just going to put a note out there. If you're young, don't watch the show. And if you're a parent watching the show and you have little ones, put the little ones to bed, because the Fs will be flying next week when we give the grades for the defense. Okay? Just letting you know.
I might get a couple Fs thrown my way.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Eddie doesn't F. Eddie doesn't F, but I tell you what, the over-under on Eddie's Fs is probably about 4 next week. I guarantee that. It's probably going to be over. Yeah. And then, of course, next week, Thursday night, 6 p.m., NFL Weekly Talk. We'll be back with myself, Dan, and probably Eddie there, whoever's available there. Prayers to Eddie. He's in the hospital. I'm sorry, Dan. He's in the hospital this week. Hopefully he got back. I didn't talk to him yet, so hopefully everything's good there. Make sure you check that out as well. So, last but not least, guys, listen, here's the thing, man. If you guys want a podcast out there, let me know. Reach out to me personally. Reach out to Eddie. Reach out to Dan. Reach out to Ken, Joe, anybody on our team here. Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. We stream live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We're everywhere. Join the team, man. If you got an interest in any kind of talk sports, NASCAR. Eddie's looking for a NASCAR guy. I'll tell you that right now. You know, if you want to talk hockey, you want to talk football, you want to talk boxing, soccer, basketball, wrestling, golf, whatever you got, cricket. I don't care. Let me know. Reach out to me. We'll make it happen. We're just passionate people that like talk sports. So make sure you check out the shows. Reach out to me if you want to start your own show. And listen, everybody knows this guy. I don't always listen to podcasts, but when I do, it's Out of the Box Sports Network. So if he can listen to us and check us out, make sure you do too as well. So, guys, it's time to get out of here. If you're a Miami fan, do me a favor. The game's on Sunday. Go to church on Monday. Go to church on Sunday and pray, because that's the only shot you have. That's the only shot you have. Indiana, Hoosiers, just like Sinetti says, who are we? Hoosiers. And that's what I'm going to say.
Hey, Miami, who's your daddy?
It's going to be Signetti. And here's the thing, real quick. Yes or no? If Signetti wins the championship on the podium when he raises the trophy, does Signetti smile? Give a big one, Eddie. Does he? Yes or no?
I'm not sure.
That's crazy. That's crazy, isn't it? When the head coach won't smile, he's up 30 points and walks the sideline like this.
He's Nick Saban and Bill Belichick.
He is. I don't think he's going to smile. I really don't. But
He finds something. He finds something why they need to go and watch tape the next day.
Yeah, I hope they do, because I just want a good game. And I think Indiana pulls away, wins this game easily by double digits. But I just want to see a game, Eddie. I want to see something that give me some team that could battle Indiana. That's all I want to see this week. Coming up on Monday night. So, Eddie, I'm ready to get out of here. My name is Paul Spencer. That is Eddie Prather. This is College Football Frenzy. This is the National Championship Edition. Indiana Hoosiers versus the Miami Hurricanes. Monday night, 8 p.m. Let us know next week if we were right or wrong, and if your thoughts were exactly the same as us. So until then, guys, we're getting out of here, and we'll see you next Friday night at 8 p.m. again. Talk to you guys later.
Game on, getting strong, let's break the mold. Chasing the stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. Alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats.